Independent English Debate. My name is Patty Bustamante, and I have the honor and the privilege of serving this awesome district as Director of World Languages. How's everyone doing? Ready for today? Did the rain get you? Yes? So students, I know you are super excited to see your friends up here. These students have worked so hard and you guys have helped them so much. But I ask to tell you and to remind you that you need to be so respectful because they are so nervous. Oh my gosh, they have practiced and practiced and practiced, and they have this ready for you. But we need you to be quiet. We need you to put your phones off because you don't want your phone being confiscated at the debate. Okay, let's put them away. Great. Okay, without further ado, here we go. This morning, to get started, I would like to introduce you to 3 of the scholars who competed in last year's debates. So here we go. Let's meet them. From Irving High School, please welcome Jesus Armendariz. From MacArthur High School, we have Ezequiel Lopez Torres. And from Nimitz High School, we have Dennis Martinez Alvarado. He's one of the champions, if you couldn't tell. Okay, so here we go. And the debaters, sorry. The debaters are coming. From starting on that side, Nimitz High School, debaters. So we have, from this side going that way, Nimitz, Irving High, Newcomer Academy, and MacArthur. Did I read it right? MacArthur and Newcomer Academy? Yes? No? Okay. Are they coming? Who's next? And so now we have our alternate debaters coming up here, and they are Diego Ayala from Nimitz High School, Celia Tovar from Irving High School, Stephanie Alonso of Irving High School, Brian Tejada of Irving High School, Madeli Rodriguez from the Irving Newcomer Academy, Kenya Tovar, Irving Newcomer Academy, Jackie Cardosa, MacArthur High School, going right, Judith Munguia of MacArthur High School. These students will lead us in the pledges.
Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for the Texas Pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. You may be seated.
Thank you, players and JROTC for the presentation of colors. We would like to welcome some special guests here today. Please stand and be recognized. From Irving ISD, the Irving ISD Superintendent, Dr. Parra. Any board members here today? Division and district directors who have joined us today. Coordinators and principal from each high school. Nimitz, Curtis, Mauricio. Irving, Ana Gomez. MacArthur, Dan Cummins. Irving Newcomer Academy, Linda Torres Ranger. Faculty advisors at each high school. Nimitz, Susanna Huffman. From Irving, John Boyle. MacArthur, Mary Rocha. Newcomer Academy, Eric Edwards. And any parents and students who are here today.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to ask you to help me welcome our esteemed judges and moderator. Our first judge is the founder and creator of the Irving Independent English. She serves Irving ISD as a professional development coordinator. Let's give a warm welcome to Ms. Christina Kings-Fettler. Also joining us today as an esteemed judge is Ms. Greg Beauchamp, co-pastor, promise maker, and storyteller. His worldwide work in aiding people to tell their story lends itself to helping others to succeed on life's stage. Our next judge began her career as an ESL teacher and specialist. She now serves Irving ISD as a professional development coordinator. Please welcome Ms. Mitzi Clark.
The judges panel is also served today by Dr. Anita de la Isla. Her career in education began as a bilingual teacher, moving to serve Irving ISD as a bilingual ESL coordinator before joining the Irving ISD Professional and Digital Development Department. Lastly, but certainly not least, our final judge serves Irving ISD as Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources. She has served our district for many years in multiple capacities, where she served large populations of bilingual and ESL students. Welcome, Ms. Magda Hernandez. Our moderator this morning is a multi-talented teacher who has served Irving ISD for 11 years in many challenging capacities. She's currently working at Austin Middle School as a teen leadership and AVID teacher. This is her third year to serve as a moderator for the Independent English Debate. Please welcome Mr. S. Spencer.
The debate that you're going to hear this morning is not your traditional debate format, but it's a modified format that allows competitors from multiple teams to compete with one another. This event started at the classroom level with over 300 students participating and debating against one another. Classroom winners were selected in a campus-wide debate, and the top 5% of those are here before you today. I want to challenge the audience members to think back when you were a freshman. What was your biggest challenge? Now think about how our world has changed over that time. How would your experience have changed if it were your first year in a new country, learning a new language? Each student sitting here before you has lived in the United States for 15 months or less. For them, the struggle of being a freshman while attempting to learn both content and a new language is very real, yet they are very determined. While they are not always recognized, today we allow our newcomer ESL voices to be heard through a debate. Today they present real issues backed with data and paired with solutions. This debate is meant to open the dialogue between generations and cultures with a common goal of making Irving ISD a better place for all of us. The argument being presented this morning is concerning the greatest challenge facing freshman students in Irving ISD. This morning, the Newcomer Academy will present that the largest problem facing Irving freshmen is their lack of value for education. MacArthur will debate that the misuse of electronics and cyberbullying are the largest problems. Irving High School will present how drugs are the biggest problem, and Nimitz will present on student misbehavior. For the presentation of the problem from Newcomer Academy, please welcome Nadia. Nadia is from the Congo. She has been in the United States for 6 months. Her favorite subject is math, and she plans to attend a 4-year university to pursue a degree in accounting.
Thank you for letting me be here today. I'm truly honored. Education is the key to unlock the golden door of freedom. George Washington Carver. The greatest challenge facing Irving is that freshmen don't place an importance on their education. George Washington Carver knows much about freedom and the importance of education. History.com says American African educate research. I also know the value of education. In my home country, Uganda, where I come from, people have to pay for their education. Parents have to look for money for their children to go to school. Students have to look for jobs, and there aren't so many. The little they can find is selling some items and washing dishes so that they can get some money to help them to continue with their education. Because they don't have a free education, but Irving students do. My countrymen value their education and they are willing to give anything away for the freedom they know education gives. Irving students should know how precious it is to have a free education. They should respect and give their education value it deserves. Because they have a free education which other students at their age all over the world would love to have what they have. I feel very happy to see when Irving students are giving their education value and knowing the freedom education gives. At least when I see that, I know that they are not misusing what other students are so longing for, but I don't see that happening very often. It also pains me to see when they don't want to go to school, where they don't value what they have and not respecting an opportunity they have for a free education. They're only taking advantage of it. They also rather have fun with friends than to study. They don't care about their future and their education. They're not doing the right, and that is not good. They're not doing the right, and that is not good, and we need to change this problem. My friend Samantha will explain in just a moment what students value and the daughters, which she will just say in a moment. The Foundation Global Partnership for Education says on their website, education is one of the suitable ways of promoting poverty from generation to generation. Every boy and every girl should have the right to have a quality education so that they can have more chances in life, like participating in an opportunity, participating in politics, Irving students have lost style of valuing their education. They have chosen a lifestyle that have no price. Slides.com says the valuing of education. It leads to an independent life. It promotes democracy. Help me, please, to help Irving students to see they have something precious, something of the great value. They have the golden key of freedom on their hands. Help me, please, to help them by agreeing with me that Irving's freshmen don't place an importance on their education, so that we can renew our vision, change the course and sets once again, and that we can continue to secure the land of the free and the home of the brave. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
To present the problem of the misuse of electronics and cyberbullying from MacArthur is Shipra. Shipra is from the Congo. She has been in the United States for 7 months. Her favorite subject is algebra, and she would like to eventually work in a bank.
Our is a time when there is no denying the positive impact of technology, but that is just one side of the coin. When you check the dark underbelly of technology, you will discover how your electronic can pose possible risks and hazard to your health. Today, we will be discussing the immediate problem of electronic misuse and bullying students fast when entering 9th grade. Students in in a world that technology can lead to problems if they do not respect and use their electronic devices properly. For example, the other night, my family and I went out to dinner. We are all laughing and talking, but the table next to us, the family was not talking or paying attention to each other. They are all on their cell phone, ignoring each other. It also frequently happens to school. Teachers trying to teach, but students are more interested in what is happening somewhere in cyberspace. Electronics are causing us to lose our humanity by creating an environment where people are caught and offending. This can also lead to cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is when bullying takes place using electronic technology. As a society, we are losing our humanity and are saying things without thinking of the effect on others because it's not real. It is one cyberspace somewhere. They are causing new problems with people because they are silent about their pain. Children and teenagers spend an average of an hour in checking their electronic devices. According to the study done by CNN last November, testing is so much less real than having a conversation in person and looking somebody in the eyes, and having physical or less verbal and looking somebody and presence with them. Young people are losing personality and focus. We are losing what makes us human. Ninth grade think electronic devices are great resource tools, but we are control how and why we use it. If we not control the situation, it is possible that we love can destroy us. Thank you.
To present the challenge that freshmen at Irving face in relationship to drugs is our Doni from Irving High School. Ardoni is from the Congo. She has been in the United States for 3 months. Her future plans are to become a pediatric nurse.
Good morning. Thank you, Irving, to give me opportunity to talk in front of everybody. Thank you, MacArthur. Thank you, Newcomers Academy. Thank you, everybody. I want to talk about the biggest problem of ninth graders, drug abuse. I am a ninth graders. You are a ninth graders. I see the problem. Do you see the problem? Do you think drug abuse is a good thing? Like I always say, drug addicts begin with a first try. Is this try who allowed them to like and become addicted or to hate and drop? Everybody who smoke, drink alcohol, or drug addict begin in the same way. My problem is about for whom is like and continue drug. Certain of these people are so much sick as they continue drug, they become drug abuse. What means it's impossible for her to get rid of drug. This drug addiction become a very problem for them. This evidenced by the drug makes cannot pass one day without taking some drug and lost control of them. Usually, they are doing bad things because that. For example, these people can kill many people, they can eat, rape, steal, and many other things. All this because they consume a big quantity of drug and at any time, and the sound become dependent. That is my native African language, Lingala. Merci pour votre attention et votre compréhension. That is French. I lived in France for 5 years. Gracias por su atención. Apenas voy a aprender Spanish. Thank you for your attention and your understanding.
To present the problem of student misbehavior and the problem it poses for Irving freshmen is Mercedes from Nimitz High School.
The Greek philosopher Plato said, human behavior flows from three main sources: desire, emotion, and knowledge. That is why we believe the biggest challenge for Irving ISD ninth graders is student misbehavior. Every day, we hear students using profanity, being rude to teachers and each other. This is ridiculous. Supposedly, we come to school to learn and become educated for our future. However, it is evident that we have a lack of motivation and interest, causing too many teachers leave the profession after only 2 or 3 years of teaching. According to a 2011 study from Wisconsin, disruptive behavior is detrimental to teachers, school cultures, and ultimately students' learning. And in my own experience, when I recently came here, I was shocked when I saw the misbehavior of the students and the lack of interest in the classes. I couldn't believe how normal that is for students here. Another reason we believe the biggest challenge is the student misbehavior is because misbehavior is also the root cause of other challenges that we face at school, including bullying, drugs, and violence. Student misbehavior is a problem affecting schools across the nation and around the world. It not only interferes with teaching and learning, but it's also a leading cause of student failure and teacher stress. Most people agree that misbehavior comes first from home. Therefore, we must do better with the involvement of the parents in educating the children to be responsible and motivate them to create goals for the future. We can also create motivational programs in our school. Student misbehavior affects many people at school. As students, we can tell you that every day and every period we see our classmates being disrespectful, sleeping in class, using their phones, and not paying attention to teachers, even yelling and speaking rudely to them. All of this nature frustrate teachers and cause more interruptions. Even though we believe that the root of misbehavior comes mainly from the home, we know that ultimately the students need to be held responsible for their own behavior. Students, what do you want to be doing 10 years in the future? Have you asked yourself this question? Students, we can do better than this. We must make a real effort to change our behavior in class. If not, you will suffer the consequences more than anyone else, not just our teachers and parents. It is your time, your future. Behave. Thank you.
Our second speaker from each campus will provide the audience and judges with data to back up their claim. To present data from the Newcomer Academy is Samantha. Samantha is originally from Mexico. She has been in the United States for 7 months. Her favorite subject is math, and she plans to attend medical school to become a pediatrician.
Thank you for allowing me to be here today. I'm grateful for this opportunity. I begin with a quote: education is not preparation for life. Education is life itself. The greatest challenge is that even freshmen do not value their education. I personally created a survey because I care of my classmates. I surveyed 150 Irving freshmen for Nimitz, MacArthur, Newcomer Academy, and Irving High School, and the results overwhelming shows that Irving freshmen don't value their education. I have found that many Irving freshmen don't value their education because of many problems they have, but first I wanted to see if they were aware of the negative consequence of not having an education. So the first question I asked in the survey was, what are the negative consequences of Irving freshmen not placing a value on their education? One student said they fail classes and do not get the needed credits to graduate, and cause behavioral problems on their classes when they are not focused on learning. Another student said it affects who people do want to learn, the people that do not care about their education, cause disruption in the school environment. The students will turn to drugs and drinking. Because I know education is life itself, I wanted to know what could be causing many Irving freshmen to not value their education. I found the answer. Over 80% of the people I asked say that economic troubles on the household affected their interest in education. Note, poverty is the main problem, but people are in numbers, so listen to the voice of my classmates. One student who said, and I quote, "It depends on what type of problems you have. Like for my experience, I have to lose almost half of ninth grade, and even a whole year of school by working and having responsibilities at my home." One student simply put money problems. I also asked freshmen what was getting in the way of them value their education. In the following order for greatest to least. Number 1, poverty. Number 2, friends and family. Number 3, no interesting. Number 4, fights. Number 5, immigration. Number 6, security. Number 7, drugs. Number 8, bullying. Because I care, you Irving freshmen, I will occasion you to get involved. Like my friend Nadia said, do what you can to find that golden key of freedom. That key is education. And because I care about your children's education, I will encourage you to take our data seriously and agree with us, because the data I have proves that we are correct, and the greatest challenge facing Irving students is that many of Irving freshmen don't value their education. Let me remind you, as Don Dewey said, education is life. Thank you for.
To present data from MacArthur High School is Adioni. Adioni is originally from Mexico. She has been in the United States for 9 months. Her favorite subject is art, and she would like to study either forensic anthropology or graphic design.
In my experience, electronic device is a big problem because we spend time on unnecessary things and not pay attention to the important things. And this can cause many problems, physical and mentally. Physically can cause disease, the result of the radiation. It can affect the neck, the back, the hands, the fingers, and eyes. Mentally, it can make you feel nervous, angry, and cause conflicts, pain, or even insomnia and isolation. It can cause addiction, fatigue, and feeling indifferent. This has also to obesity. Too much screen time can promote sedentary lifestyle. Obesity is a major risk factor for heart attacks. As many 32% of teens are obese, according to estimates by the American Academy of Children's and Adolescent Psychiatry, published by the American Heart Institute. Obese teens are more likely to grow up to become obese adults. giving an increased risk to chronic health disease, diabetes, and arthritis. Trying even just 30 minutes of electronic time per day of physical activity can help significantly reduce these risks. Another thing is cyberbullying. A study done in CNN last year showed that people are more robotic and less human. There is unforgetting that people have feelings, and something hurtful on an electronic device don't seem as evil as saying it is person. For example, the last week my friend put picture on Instagram. She thought that's a good picture, but some people were mean about who she looked. And although she laughed, she about needs she has inside. This affirmation of misuse of electronics as the biggest challenge by 9th graders in Irving ISD. Thank you.
To present data from Irving High School is Juan. Juan is from Mexico. He has been in the United States for 9 months. His favorite subject is math, and he does plan to go to college.
Wow. Around 25% of entire freshman students are currently using drugs. That is 1 of 4 students present here. Here could be using drugs according to National Survey on Drug Use and Health Drugs. Sometimes the data is not really accurate. This means that the number of students using drugs could even be higher. Have you ever wondered how many people die each year? Yes? How much? How many? Okay. It's about 570,000 people die every year due to drug use. That is 20,000 die illegal drug use and 20,000 due prescription drug abuse. According to the National Survey on Drug Use and Health, the most commonly abused substance among teens is marijuana and then tobacco. The most commonly abused illegal drug is marijuana. 2 years ago, in 2014, 16.6% of 12 to 17 years old had abused cocaine, and 6.8% had abused marijuana. Rates of current past month use illicit drug in 2015 were higher for young adults age 18 to 25. Among these young adults, 60.4% use marijuana, 6.0% use prescription types drugs non-medically, 1.7% use cocaine, and 1.5% using hallucinogens. Drug overdoses now cause more deaths than traffic accidents. Every day, 44 Frenchmen in the United States die from overdose and prescription painkillers. More people die from abusing prescription pain relievers than cocaine and heroin combined. The number of overdose deaths caused by prescription painkillers alone between 1999 and 2020. In 2013, nearly 2 million Americans abused prescription painkillers. Each year, about 7,000 people are treated in emergency department for using these drugs in a manner other than ours as directed. The 2014 Future Survey showed that past month use of smoked marijuana remaining steady among 8th graders at 6.5%, 9th graders at 60.6%, and 10th graders at 21.2%. Close to 6% of 9th graders reported daily use of marijuana. As a recent study followed people from age 13 to 18 and found that those who use marijuana a lot in their teens had up to an 8-point drug in. High school freshmen who smoke marijuana are 2 times more likely to receive a traffic ticket and 65% more likely to get into accident than those who don't smoke. Can you believe these numbers? People are dying, lives are destroyed. Why? Money wasted, people in the jail. Why? Accidents, overdoses, painkillers. Why? Can you believe these numbers? Cocaine, cheese, meat, bars. Why? Can you believe these numbers? Thank you.
Now to present data from Nimitz High School is Vilma. Vilma is originally from Honduras. She has been in the United States for 9 months. Her favorite subject is ROTC, and she plans to go to college to study law.
I have some intriguing evidence that proves that the biggest challenge for urban ISD 9th graders is student misbehavior. We surveyed about 400 students and teachers at Nimitz High School about what was the biggest challenge for urban ISD. Almost all of the responses were student misbehavior. I will address the 3 most common types reported, and why we know this is the main cause and effect of many other issues. We found that the most common types of misbehavior are: number 1, inappropriate use of electronic in the classroom. Number 2, disrespect and insubordination to staff. Number 3, student disrupting the classroom environment. These 3 categories were reported to be much more widespread than other issues such as bullying, drugs, skipping, and violence. The irresponsible use of electronics in the classroom is a growing problem. In our survey, over half of the participants said that it is the most common category of misbehavior. According to the Vice Principal Secretary Angela Rodriguez at Nimitz High School, inappropriate use of electronics in the classroom is the number 1 reason why students are sent to the office. The severity of the offense ranges from a student just being off task and refusing to work to more serious offenses of cheating on tests. The second most common type of misbehavior is disrespect or insubordination. According to a Harris poll from 2014, parents of school-aged children said that respect for teachers had declined from 79% to 31% since the time they were students. Furthermore, a report by the New Center that 40% of teachers leave the profession within 2 to 5 years. Everyone knows that people with more experience are more effective at their jobs. We cannot continue to scare away the future teachers with misbehavior. Finally, the third most common type of misbehavior is classroom disruption. Returning to our Nimitz survey, about 40% of respondents said that disruptive behavior is a serious problem. It's a common knowledge that even when students disrupt a class, it affects the whole class. According to a study by Laney and McCarty from 2007, teachers are spending disproportionately more time on behavior problems that take away from instruction. We see this every day, 1 or 2 students yelling, arguing, or talking during instruction, and the teacher has to stop and correct the disruptive student. What a waste of time. We must better train teachers in the strategies of classroom management in order to build structure in the classroom. In return, we will see a positive change in how students use electronics, treat their teachers, and respect the classroom environment. We know that it will not always be easy, but for students of Irving, it is essential. Thank you.
As we all know, problems will remain problems unless we find solutions. To present the solutions for student apathy is Tommy from the Newcomer Academy. Tommy is from El Salvador. He has been in the United States for 7 months. His favorite subject is physical education, and he plans to attend a university in Texas to pursue a degree in engineering.
Thank you for allowing me to be here today. I am grateful for this opportunity. Educating the mind without educating the heart is not education at all. Aristotle was a Greek philosopher who transformed most, if not areas of knowledge, he taught. He has our solution, the greatest challenge facing not only freshmen but all Irving ISD students is that students do not value their education. But as my teacher always states, don't look for problems. That's easy. Look for solutions. That's why I'm here today. My role today is to provide the solution to the greatest problem facing Irving freshmen. That's Irving ISD freshmen don't value their education. The heart of the solution is simple this. Capture the heart of Irving ISD students so we can capture their minds. Another way to say it is, you have to reach them to teach them. From Philippines website comes the following quote: capturing kids' hearts has already dramatically elevated academic and behavioral standards for millions of students in thousands of classrooms across America. Our own superintendent, Dr. Parra, is quoted as saying, all students are important, and our students can experience success in reaching their potential if systems are in place to support and foster student success. Under his wise leadership, a system has been put into place to solve this problem. Each year, teachers must take a class before they start teaching us, and that class is called Cultural IQ. I'm glad we are not the only ones who had to go to school. In this class, teachers learn how to capture the hearts of their students. Also, Dr. Parra states in his philosophy of education, a powerful companion element is mentoring. Discipline referrals decrease, students feel safe, and the focus is squarely where it should be, teaching and learning. Mentoring is capturing the heart of the student being mentored. Dr. Paraguay's conclusion best agrees that the greatest problem facing Irving freshmen is that students do not value their education. I leave you with our solution, a solution that has been too long overlooked, a solution from a man who loved the knowledge, a solution that we can no longer ignore. I leave you with a solution from a man who shaped the entire world with education, a love that echoes through the ages. I leave you with a solution that doesn't require more money. I leave you with a solution that I started with. I leave you our most excellent solution. Educating the mind without educating the heart is not education at all. What do you say, Dr. Parra? What do you say, Irving teacher? But most importantly, students of Irving, what do you say? Thank you.
To present the solutions to the problem of misuse of electronics is Othniel. Othniel is from the Congo. He has been in the United States for 7 months, and he wants to go to college to study architecture.
A solution are relatively easy. We control our electronic usage, but we need to be smart about it. Students should be training on use, so we can trade it. We can trade properly, with great care. When we begin school, we are taught about to turn on a computer, but we are not taught that misuse can cause serious problems. Schools should limit access not just by blocking social media and not monitoring loosely. Schools should be astute to the fact that students are secretly using their electronic device. To film other usually, to bully them, students should be held responsibility for what they do on their devices. Parents need to be made more aware of social media and what is being done when their children are their electronic devices. We know the government already monitor usage, and we do have the right to say anything as long as it is socially acceptable and cause no harm. However, if we do not take time to teach our students to respect technology, the only ones we have to blame are ourselves. Thank you.
To present the solutions to the problem of drugs for Irving freshmen from Irving High is Aris. Aris is from El Salvador. She has been in the United States for 15 months. Her favorite subject is art, and she plans to join the police force in Irving.
Today I'm talking about the most difficult problem in 9th grade. Is drug abuse. There are several solutions to this problem. One solution is to stop using drugs. This would be the one solution, easiest solution. If you are an active drug user, also if you are not currently using drugs, you can prevent the use of drugs by asking the help of their parent, counselor, police, of other various resources. This is important for the people who are using drugs. And also, it is important to mention the most principal solution is look to God in every way. However, these rares of drugs can be converted. Your education is the first better solution. Children need to be taught at home, at school about drugs. People need to be aware of the effects so they can avoid this problem. A second solution is to increase to manpower of the police and create effective laws to stop distributor. However, the main objective should be the user. Families and counselors need to talk to children and people about risks. Parents should watch their children and help them become responsible. Worldwide, job and housing to give people a role in society are also needed. The third solution is to rehabilitation of young drug addicts. They need to raise the level of self-awareness through adequate education has been suggested as an appropriate step to these are able to overcome their addiction, can tutor other young addicts. They need to form a healthy environment where you meet the needs of these young people is equally important. They must be under surveillance international project to take measures to prohibit the manufacture of such harmful drugs. The government can use laboratories where young people can see alchemy of drugs and reality they can drug are introduced to human body. Us clearly can see for themselves the risks that drugs cause. So these are the solutions to drugs. Youth stop using drugs.
To present the problems for solutions to student misbehavior is Mitzi from Nimitz High School. Mitzi is originally from Mexico. She has been in the United States for 8 months. Her favorite subject is art, and she would like to go to college to become a graphic designer.
I believe that the solution to student misbehavior is to pay teachers more money. My teacher told me to say that. I will discuss some solutions to student misbehavior. First of all, according to a survey of about 400 teachers and students at Nimitz High School, the top 3 most common types of misbehavior are use of electronics, disrespect to teachers, and classroom disruptions. I will address the top 3 types and some solutions that will help improve student behavior. Data from a Nimitz PBIS report confirms that the most common type of misbehavior is misuse of electronics. This is perhaps the biggest problem to overcome. Carlos Sepulveda, Nimitz Dean, believes that training teachers to both better engage and build better relationship with their students can help reduce the issue of electronics. Furthermore, he also told us that most of the recent teacher training has focused on academics, and that veteran teachers often do not feel they need any training on classroom management. Yet, as culture and technology changes, so should discipline strategies in the classroom. In our Nimitz survey, the majority of students and faculty believe that we focus too much on punishment instead on changing behavior. About 55% also say that detentions and ISS are not helping students behave better. We need to focus more on changing behavior, not punishment. We can do this through mentors, as well as training parents to become mentors to their children. Mentoring was one of the top solutions suggested by the school community in our survey. Clearly, a large number of people agree with us. Do you? The second most common type of misbehavior is disrespect to teachers and insubordination. We must get to the root of this problem. According to both Mr. Sepulveda and Mr. Mauricio, the problem of insubordination is strongly connected to the relationship between the adult and the student. Administrators need to make teacher training in building relationships a top priority. Furthermore, new teachers should receive more support from veteran teachers and administrators to discipline students. The third most common type of misbehavior reported by our survey is classroom disruption. Again, the root of this issue seems to be student engagement. Also, large class size make it more difficult for teachers to build those important relationships with their students. As a result, we believe that teacher training in combination with a smaller class size will drastically reduce the number of classroom disruptions. In conclusion, we understand that there are many people responsible for student misbehavior. However, that's just as many people who can work to change it.
Thank you, debaters. There will now be a 10-minute intermission as our scholars prepare their rebuttals.
As we welcome our debaters back to the stage for the final round, let's give Ms. Sander and the MacArthur String Quarter a huge round of applause.
We now welcome a debater from each team to refute the arguments that they have heard today from the competing campuses. From Newcomer Academy is Pablo. Pablo is originally from Mexico. He has been in the United States for 1 year, and he plans to stay and attend a 4-year university and one day become a counselor.
Thank you for allowing me to be here today. I am grateful for this opportunity. I begin with a quote. Education breeds confidence, confidence breeds hope, and hope breeds peace. Confucius. Nietzsche said that student misbehavior is Irving's greatest challenge. This is a solution that Irving ISD has been putting in place, and what it has in place is education. And it has education to fix this problem because education breeds confidence, confidence breeds hope, and hope breeds peace. MacArthur said that misuse of technology is the Irving's greatest challenge. The solution, education. This is a solution that Irving ISD already has in place. And what it has in place is education, because education breeds confidence, confidence breeds hope, and hope breeds peace. Irving High School said that drug addiction is Irving's greatest problem. It is a problem, but it is not Irving's greatest problem. And the solution to drug abuse is education, because education breeds confidence, confidence breeds hope, and hope breeds peace. Next, I will address the drug addictions. Why also a valid concern, it is not Irving ISD's greatest challenge. The website drugabuse.gov is part of the USA's National Institute on Health States. Drug addiction is a preventable disease. Thus, education and outreach are key in helping youth and the general public understand the risk of drug abuse. Teachers, parents, and medical and public health professionals must keep saying the message that drug addiction can be prevented if one never abuses drugs. So once again, education breeds confidence. Once we get students to value education by capturing their hearts, we can help them to learn that drugs are not okay to experiment with. Wikipedia.com says that Confucius was a Chinese teacher and philosopher. The philosophy of Confucius emphasized personal and governmental morality and sincerity. In other words, he thought that education helps prevent us from doing the wrong thing, including doing drugs, abusing of technology, and bullying others. Or in his own words, education is the answer to all. All we need is for freshmen to value what they have. Education breeds confidence, confidence breeds hope, hope breeds peace. Couldn't we all use more peace in our lives? Thank you.
To present the rebuttal from MacArthur High School is Iram. Iram is from Mexico. He has been in the United States for 10 months. His favorite subject is biology, and he plans to become a computer engineer.
Thank you for your arguments. But I think that the student behavior in class and value of education are not the most powerful challenges affecting our students, because the United States ranked in the top 25% in the list of the top 15 educational systems by countries in a study conducted in 2015. This is a clear example that education in the United States does not have as a large a problem as such, and that the student behavior does not represent a significant factor that weaken education right now or influence roughly in the same. We moved to this country for a better life, and we should take this opportunity to education ourselves. Instead, drug addiction is a disease that involves physical or psychological dependence on substances that affect the central nervous system and brain activities. Addiction to these products can occur for various reasons. One reason is that most dependents have some kinds of problem or psychological disorder that in most cases cause one to develop a dependencies in order to create an escape from this reality. Irving made a good point, and marijuana causes use to lose reality. It is at this point when we realize that what really provokes people to have addictions and will eventually become dependents on drugs. Bullying is a big problem affecting our society and negatively influence the psychological of both the abusers and the abused, and even more specifically, cyberbullying, which converts to technology, is used as a tool to inflict even more damage. Aggressors use technology as a way to fuel their destruction. It gives them easy access in their favor. Nimitz also showed the disrespect that we all feel when using electronics. We live in a world when the two biggest problems of our own, bullying and addiction to new technologies, have combined to create a delusion that affects 1 million people and that every day has more victims. Thank you.
To present the rebuttal from Irving High School is Jose. Jose is originally from El Salvador. He has been in the United States for 1 month. His favorite subject is English, and he plans to go to college and play football.
Thanks, newcomer MacArthur Nimitz High School, for the important information about the problems that we can find in ninth graders, also in other graders. But in this moment, I rebut all their problems because the worst and the biggest problem for ninth graders is drug abuse. I'm going to start talking about the newcomer school because they say apathy and the importance education is the worst problem for ninth graders. I think is one of the problems in schools. That's true. Nobody likes to see some of the students don't graduate for different reasons. For example, jobs. A lot of students in high school have jobs. Everybody needs money. But think just for a moment. In the problem of drug abuse, also called drug addiction, is the biggest problem for ninth graders because they spend a lot of money. Maybe $1,000 a week. I think it's a lot of money. But they spend more when they have an addiction. One of these reasons, because they spend a lot of money, is the illegal drugs are more expensive than the legal drugs. The people who sell drugs take a biggest risk with the law. You know better than me the laws here in Texas. If a police officer catches you with drugs, you have to go to the jail. In my second point, MacArthur said, misuse of electronics, cyberbullying, is a difficult problem for ninth graders. Yes, I agree. It's one of the problems for ninth graders, but it's not the biggest, also not the worst. Because the teacher doesn't like to see students with the cell phones. Why? Because they think the students don't pay attention. And one of the reasons is because they take the time to prepare class for us, for days, weeks, months, also years, for make the students' work easier. Because compared with the problem of drug abuse, I know it's worse because the grades begin fall. Because they just think in drugs. It's a biggest problem. For the last one, and not less important, NIMI schools. They say student misbehavior is the most difficult problem for ninth graders. Yeah, I'm agree. But in this moment, I'm little confused because the newcomers talk about apathy and MacArthur about misuse of electronics, and you, Nimitz schools, talk about that. All of you talks about drugs, and that's important because all of you admit the drug abuse is the biggest problem. Nobody likes hear bad words or see when some is rude with other person. We know that. But compared with the problem of drug abuse, I know it's worse because I prefer have a friend who said darns, bad words, to have a dead friend for use drugs. And I want to be specific in this moment because dead friends never come back. Why I say that? Because we can fix someone who said darns, who is rude with other person, but tell me how can I fix someone who's dead? My friends, your child never come back. All of your problems have easier solution than us because in our problem, drug abuse, or also called drug addiction, if the person who uses drugs tell to other person, he or she take a biggest risk with the laws. All of them are scared for that. Thanks.
To present the rebuttal from Nimitz High School is Danny. Danny is originally from Honduras. She has been in the United States for 1 year. Her favorite subjects are algebra and physics, and she plans to study business and engineering.
Student misbehavior is a much bigger challenge than drugs and alcohol, issues with electronics, and students who don't value education. The Newcomer Academy says that students who don't value their education are causing problems in class, disrupt other students, and cause students to drop out and give up. However, you have to remember that students who don't value their education will certainly misbehave in school. Therefore, lack of value for education is just one of the causes of classroom misbehavior, since there are a vast number of other causes of misbehavior, such as not understanding classroom material, family problems, lack of sleep, and lack of parents' involvement. It's clear that misbehavior is the greater challenge. MacArthur considers issues with electronics as the greatest challenge because the problem is prevalent in a large number of students. We agree, it's true, that irresponsible use of electronics is a major difficulty in school. Our survey named misuse of electronics as the #1 type of misbehavior. Again, since misbehavior includes misuse of electronics and cyberbullying, as well as a huge amount of other types of misbehavior, such as disrespect and classroom disruption. It's obvious that misbehavior is the key effect of the irresponsible use of electronics. According to Irving High School, 9th graders struggle most with drugs and alcohol use. Once again, abuse of drugs and alcohol is a very serious type of offense, and everyone knows that it can certainly cause student misbehavior. In addition, the number of students nationally who abuse drugs and alcohol is much lower than those who disrupt in the classroom. Let's recall that Nimitz principal Curtis Mauricio said, insubordination is the most common type of misbehavior seen. The data collected by the PBIS team supports this. Drugs and alcohol were not one of the main types of misbehavior. Furthermore, only 19% of students and faculty in our survey said drugs use was a very common problem, whereas 50% reported disruptive behavior was the worst, and 45% said irresponsible use of electronics was the worst. Bullying, including cyberbullying, had one of the lowest responses. So, although we understand that drugs and alcohol, as well as cyberbullying, may be serious issues, they are definitely not the biggest. As you can see, student misbehavior is widespread, affects the most number of students, much more than the issues mentioned by the other teams. Finally, even though we are aware that many of the solutions to student misbehavior depend largely on adult intervention, we strongly believe that ultimately students themselves are the ones who need to be held accountable. Adults can guide us, but we must still make the choice to act with dignity and respect. Students, When you misbehave, it's your future that you're risking. Is hurting your future worth disrupting class? What about the future and education of your classmates? It's evident that this problem is rampant, and school officials must do all they can to reduce it. Thank you.
Each campus will now present their closing arguments. To present the closing argument from Newcomer Academy is Kevin. Kevin is originally from Mexico. He has been in the United States for 7 months. His favorite subject is world geography, and he plans to attend medical school and become a pediatrician.
Thank you for allowing me to be here today. I am grateful for this opportunity. My friend and newcomer classmate Nadia presented her story and showed us that the greatest problem facing urban ISD is that students do not value their education. My friend and classmate and sister Samantha presented convincing data from a survey she took from all 3 high schools represented today and shows that the greatest challenge facing urban students is that they don't value their education. My friend and classmate Tommy Duran provide a great solution to the greatest challenge facing urban students. His solution to get students to start valuing their education is to capture the hearts of all urban students. We could even say that since Dr. Parra has made this part of teacher professional development, every year that he agrees with us. My friend and newcomer classmate Pablo Loma from MacArthur High School showed that even though drugs addictions, misuse of technology and bullying are concerns that need to be addressed, but are done so by getting students to value education. I will now close our case. I do so with words of Malcolm X. Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. Urban freshmen need a passport from the desert of bullying into the paradise of freedom. That passport is education. Urban freshmen need a passport to leave the land of cyberbullying into the paradise of freedom. That passport is education. Urban freshmen need a passport of education to travel from the land of bondage, of drugs addiction, so they can travel to the land of freedom. And in the words of the greater teacher, pastor, and civil rights leader, Dr. Martin Luther King, let freedom ring, let freedom ring, let freedom ring. Thank you, and God bless you all.
And now to present the conclusion from MacArthur High School is Jacqueline. Jacqueline is originally from Mexico. She has been in the United States for 9 months. Her favorite subject is English, and she wants to teach history or biology.
Electronics are the most important tools of our society for the benefits they provide, but this can also be a double-edged sword. The constant use of electronics can cause dependency. The excessive use of electronics disconnects us from reality. It causes a desire to use them to the level of feeling isolated, uncomfortable, frustrated, or even angry if we do not have that device available to us. There are many students who are at home alone, and the only means they have to not suffer is in the use of electronics. But what happens after a while with the student? Since he's not facing his reality, it results in not having a good education and not preparing well for everyday life. For example, students carry their electronic devices everywhere, and if they have to stop for a moment, they become anxious. And all this does not allow coexistence and communication with others. In my experience, I'm away from my mother and the rest of my family. I live with my aunt. My father helps me financially, but not beyond the scope of what it means to be a father. The school is not simple as it seems. English is not my first language, and the contents here are very different from those I used to study in my home country. And because of this and other problems, I get frustrated. And all I want to do is escape from all these problems that overwhelm me. The easiest method for me is in the use of electronics. Thanks to these devices, as in my case, not everyone knows when it's time to stop, to pay attention to the real world around, and it becomes a vice that we cannot resist. Often we prefer to be there, chatting with the strangers, and risking our lives and that of those around us. Also, like me, there are more teens who do the same to escape their reality using electronics, such as video games, television, cell phones, tablets, etc. The void that many have is nonconformity, and release it with others through aggression, although it's not always physical. If something makes them unhappy, they want to pass it on to someone else, or want to fill that void by making someone else feel badly. And the person who receives that hurt seeks refuge in another medium, which may also result in the use of drugs, or completely submerge themselves in another device, not paying attention to who they hurt. Thus, it becomes a vicious cycle. Excessive use of electronics is a distraction for students because it does not allow a good communication with their peers. Development is not the same, and learning is non-existent or very limited. According to studies by the University of Michigan, continuous use of electronics and social networks cause the user to feel less fulfilled in their daily life, which leads to various physiological disorders such as depression. Also, they cause isolation, and all of this together can result in the use of drugs. Adolescents have easy access to all kinds of information that sometimes is not suitable for their age, causing them to think inappropriately at a very early age. That kind of information is brought to school, which attracts the attention of more students, and then they push aside their education because reality is what they see through the mobile device. Finally, electronics are the most intelligent and useful things that human beings could invent. Thanks to this invention, we're able to come closer, but it is depriving us of basic human contact. And all the problem is that it's affecting our young minds. We, who are the future of the world, are impairing our society as teenagers, which is the age where our character is being developed and defined. The use of electronics transforms us into monsters who only seek their own good. We do not care if someone else suffers. We are not interested in another human being equal to us. We're losing our sensitivity for one another. We do not mind hurting our peers. And at this age, everything affects us emotionally. Additionally, all we see, we learn. In turn, putting it all in practice. Electronics are causing us to lose our consciousness, our common sense, communication, coexistence. Unfortunately, the use of electronics is leading us to lose our humanity. Thank you.
To present the conclusion from Irving High School is Catherine. Catherine is from El Salvador. She has been in the United States for 1 year, and she would like to go to college and study business.
We, the Irving High School debate team, have concluded that the most difficult problems of ninth graders is drug abuse. Drugs damage every part of our body. For example, it can affect our brain and kidneys that are critical organs to stay alive, right? And also, according to the data from my classmate Juan Vasquez, 25% of freshmen of school students consume drugs. That means 1 of 4 ninth grades uses drugs at any time. But we can infer that there's a lot more than, right? We can infer that using drugs, so there is more young people getting intoxicated. Also, according to statistics, an exaggerated amount of people have died for drug abuse. About the 570,000 people die annually due to drug use. And according to the National Survey of Drug Use and Health Drive for age group 18 to 25, the rate of current past year about the use of illicit drugs were higher for young adults aged of 18 to 25. That was 19.7% than for young aged 18 to 17, as was 9.5%. Among these young adults, 16.4% using marijuana, where that is the use more excessive in drug abuse of young people. So it's really sad to know that there are a low percent of people, according to data, that die for to be drug abuse. Really sad to know that there are cousins, mothers, aunts, sisters that die for to have drug abuse of every kind, right? It's really sad to know that. It should be emphasized, according to a solution for my classmate Iris Sanchez, one of a lot solution is stop using drugs. We know that is a principal solution because how you know, if we want to do something, you can do that, right? If I want, I can. Other solutions are talk with their parents, go to church, rehabilitation clinic, study, because the education is very fundamental in the life of the people of the world. Like, you know? But everybody knows the most principal solution for all kind of cases is look to God. Because in every way, right? Because how we know He is that can give solution all the problems that all people have. In ending, according to the rebuttal from my classmate Jose Presa, the most difficult problem clearly is drug abuse, but we need to give the mention the cyberbullying, apathy, and misbehavior we can find in ninth graders also. But the most difficult problems is drug abuse. Why? Because how my another classmate has explained that there are a low problems caused for drug use. Like for example, the people said that have problems with the police for to be someone illegal, problems with organisms of our body, principally the brain, that is the organ that sends all the information to our whole body. Separate of family, that you know it is a bad thing in the society. So for that is the most difficult problem and the biggest problem in the society. You know? They know, we know that, right? Clearly in the school, that are the base fundamental in our education. And you know what happened without education, right? Let's change Irving. Let's change the world. Let's get rid of drugs today, this minute. Thank you for lending me your attention.
To present the conclusion from Nimitz High School, please welcome Cynthia. Cynthia is originally from Mexico. She has been in the United States for 7 months. Her favorite subject is IPC, and she plans to study law.
We have heard the proof that misbehavior is the biggest challenge for Irving ISD 9th graders. This serious issue affects students emotionally and academically. Of course, it also affects teachers, whose class size and workload can prevent them from proper discipline.
Irving High School says that drugs and alcohol are the biggest challenge because it affects a large number of students. However, let's remember that only 47 students at Nimitz High School receive referrals related to drugs and alcohol, yet almost 600 students receive referrals for insubordination and classroom disruption. Also, while drugs and alcohol are certainly huge issues, it is only one type of misbehavior that leads to many others. MacArthur High School says that cyberbullying and misuse of technology are the biggest challenge because it is a problem that it is growing quickly. We agree, that's true. However, it's important to remember that all types of bullying and inappropriate use of electronics are both types of misbehavior. And although the problem is serious, it is not the biggest challenge when compared to student misbehavior. Newcomer Academy claims that students who don't value their education are the biggest challenge because it is causing students to feel unmotivated and misbehave in the classroom. On the other hand, if we improve training for teachers, students will be more engaged, trust their teachers, and be less likely to misbehave in the classroom. Therefore, they will naturally take their education more seriously. Let's recall that 40% of teachers leave the profession within 2 to 5 years, a huge factor being student misbehavior. Teacher retention is a problem that must be addressed. The more experienced teacher we have, the better students will behave. This is just common sense. The main reason we believe that student misbehavior is the biggest challenge for Irving ISD 9th graders is because it can lead to many other problems. It only takes one student misbehaving to affect a majority of students around them, just one. Students who misbehave distract their classmates, as will a bad influence on others. Clearly, this is such a big problem that it affects the whole school community. Finally, recall that we have seen that many of the solutions to student misbehavior hold adults responsible. However, at some point, the responsibility must be the students. My fellow students, why are we doing this? Your education is your future. Teachers cannot lead us so much. Ultimately, your behavior is your responsibility. To just sit down, put your phone away, do your work, and show some respect.
At this time, please excuse the judges to determine a winning team. Please remain seated. Okay.
Welcome back, judges. We know that your decision could not have been easy. Let's give the MacArthur String Quartet one last round of applause.
Ladies and gentlemen, the judges have made the incredibly hard decision of selecting a winning team. I don't know how you did it. I wouldn't have wanted to do your job today. Sorry. But before I announce the winners, I want to take a moment to recognize the fact that today has not just been about the 20 students that you see on the stage. While they have worked tirelessly, it has not been only their words we have heard this morning. This event has truly been a collaborative effort, as of all of their classmates have helped them with research, writing, and lots of hours of practice. I would like to take a moment to recognize all of the effort put forth by all of our freshman students. Every student in this auditorium has helped prepare the speakers you see on the stage. Let's give them one round of applause. Are you ready to find out who the winners are? Are you ready? Okay. So here we go. Let's see who the judges have selected as the winning team. Will you help me? Here we go. Okay, our fourth runner-up is MacArthur High School. Where did I write it? Shipra, Arioni, Otoniel, Iram, and Jacqueline. Great, great, great job. Ms. Marie Rocha, great job. Thank you. Third runner-up, Newcomer Academy. Nadia, Samantha, Tommy, Pablo, and Kevin. Great, great job. Thank you, Mr. Edwards. So we have our second runner-up and our champions, right? So I'll say it real fast because I know you want to hear. Second runner-up, Irving High School, which makes Nimitz the champions. Wait. Irving High School, Ardoni, Juan, Edis, Jose, Catherine, and Mr. Boyle. Y'all did an outstanding job. Nimitz High School, Mercedes, Vilma, Mitzi, Denny, Cynthia, and Susanna Huffman. Who's coming up? Lots and lots of pictures. Look at these people. These people are going far, all of them.
Let's give the participants and their faculty advisors one final round of applause. We would like to thank everyone for coming to show your support of our students today. Dr. Parra, members of the board, Irving ISD faculty and staff, students, parents, and family members. Thank you.
Again, we would also like to take a moment to recognize some very special people. Without them, this event wouldn't have been possible today. Ms. Wendy Tramon, Nimitz Assistant Principal, and Ms. Roxana Ms. Roxana Solorzano, Building Manager. Faculty Advisors, Suzanne Hoffman, Nimitz High School. John Boyle, Irving High School. Mary Rocha, MacArthur High School. Mr. Eric Edwards, Newcomer Academy. Ms. Stephanie Sander and the MacArthur String Quartet. Michelle Randolph, Nimitz Viking View. Our moderator, Therese Spencer. And once again, our esteemed judges. Thank you.
At this time, our students, audience will head back to campus to continue their learning. Our debaters will be available for pictures and interviews in the foyer. Thank you for coming.
Thank you to everyone that made time to come today. Dr. Parra, Dr. Greenwich, Ms. Gagne, board members, parents, thank you so much. Judges, thank you for a great job. We had a great time, and we hope to see you again next May.